I began taking medications about 11 years old. Uh, Originally, it was just like depression and anxiety meds, and that was. It was okay for a while, but I knew something was off. And I remember being like so nervous at school that it would just feel like my heart was going to explode. And I would wonder, like, okay, so somebody with a medical degree gave me something that makes me feel like I'm gonna die. Like, on top of the anxiety and depression meds, we found out in my freshman year of high school that I had scoliosis. Scoliosis is a genetic disorder that causes the spine to curve. It can also be due to poor posture. So I think with those two things, I ultimately jacked myself up. But at 14, that's when we found it. At 15, that's when they did a spinal fusion. So I have 2 rods and 16 screws in my spine, like as we speak. Those rods and screws have caused me a lot more pain than if I would have just left it be. I kind of feel that way. I got the spinal fusion. They were giving me pain medications because, well, they pretty much went in there and installed hardware in my back. So now, like, just trying to like go through high school, just do normal stuff, and I'm dealing with like this insane amount of pain. And I knew something was off when I'd first gotten the surgery because like they were telling me like, oh well, like it's not gonna be that bad afterwards. You're gonna like a couple weeks are gonna go by and you're gonna start to get feeling better. You're not gonna need pain medication. A couple weeks were going by. My back hurt like crazy. Like I felt like I had like pins and needles being shoved into my back. And like through that, we found out I had an excessive amount of nerve damage. And after a lot of doctor's appointments and everything like that, it was settled that like I have chronic pain and I was going to have nerve damage, and it was always going to be an issue. And it always has been an issue, but when they had started me on the different types of psychotropic medications so young and then going on all of those pain pills, it made my quality of life super low. I would spend days upon days in my room, and I almost felt like Rapunzel or something. And it wasn't like anybody was keeping me in my room or anybody was doing that to me. It was just the grogginess and the just dreadful feeling that I was feeling all the time. The depression that came with being on the prescription medications themselves, I began to abuse them. And abuse of prescription medications is dangerous and it can be lethal. I never considered the dangers though. All I considered was my life is so dark right now. I felt like I had some control over the situation. I felt like I had some leverage because I was living my life in a zombie-like haze. I hated like just waking up every morning and then having to take a pill and another pill. Eventually, I began taking them like crazy. I would pass out at places and people would just leave me there, and they would be surprised when they saw me again because I was alive. And it rattles me to my core to this very day, the things I put myself through that not a soul on this planet had to put me through, that I put myself through. And I'm glad that I'm here today. And I'm thankful that God kept me alive because I should have died with how much I was taking, with how much I was doing, just everything. I should have died, but I'm still here. In essence, I decided to change my life around, not only for myself, but also for those around me, so I could best serve my community with the talents that I've been given. And in order to do that, I had to go the alternative route. And by the alternative route, I'm meaning I began smoking marijuana and using it for medical purposes. And it's great because it helps with not only the chronic pain and the degeneration and everything. You've got to be accountable for your own health and what works best for you. And I hope that my story has encouraged others to hopefully take a deeper look into, do I really need to be on all these medications? Is it, is this helping my life? Is this hurting me more? Because without asking those questions, you're never going to be able to free yourself from that system. I hope that this does inspire at least somebody to change their own life and to make things better for themselves. Because nobody's going to make your life better for you. Yes, granted, once you're on that road to getting help for yourself and making yourself feel better, once you're there, it's great having people by your side. But nobody's going to do it for you, and you have to hold yourself accountable. I encourage everyone, though, to take care of themselves and find what makes you happy and what you're passionate about. And even if you feel like your role is insignificant, know that it is your role and you were put here to play it. So play it the best you can. It doesn't matter where you get to in this life, everybody goes through something. And if you can share that with people in order to better themselves, do it.